Hi everyone, this is Design Start and today we are going to talk about shapes. So we already have some shapes on the screen here, but let's talk in more details about that. So shapes are located here in the top knob, and here we have different shapes. Let's try them all. So we can have rectangle, then line, then arrow, ellipse, polygon, star, and image. But we will talk about images later on. Let's now just talk about this couple of shapes. So rectangle, when you select a rectangle on the right sidebar, you'll see all these things. So this one is a position in the canvas of this rectangle. These are the size, the width and height of the rectangle. And this one, if you activate this, now it's activated, it means that if you change some of these parameters, the other one will be proportionally changed automatically. So if I change it by 2, then the height will also change by 2. This one is rotation. You can change it if you want to. And this one is a corner radius. So again, you can do it like 20. And you can see that now corners are rounded. You may also change each corner separately by clicking this button. And here you may check, like for instance, if you press on each of them, this small icon changes, so it's a reference to the corner that you are working on now. So this one is left top corner, let's do it like 10, and this one is left right, we can do it 100. This one is right bottom, let's do it again 10, and this one is left bottom, let's do it 100. And you can see we easily created this shape. Now let's do all of them 0 and get to the next level. So here you have also layer, we will cover this later. We have a fill, which is the color of this shape. We can check it, like press this color and then change it. Or we also can use this tool, which basically selects a color on the canvas and then just select, I don't know, this one. This is the transparency for this particular color for the fill. And we also may have a stroke here, which basically adds an outline for this shape. So you can see it here. We added an outline. You can control the thickness of this outline. Here, you can control the color of this outline. Again, you can do it like, let's do it green, dark green, and thickness of 2. Now we also can control the transparency of that. You can see how it becomes more transparent. You may also hide it. And you may also hide the fill as well. And to remove the stroke, you just need to press this minus. Here you also have a control for where the strokes appear. So basically it's inside, it's outside, or it's in the center. You may also control extra things about the stroke. I will talk about this later on, but this is the general things you need to know. Then effects and export. I covered that in the separate video, so check it out. And let's move to the line. So line is a stroke by itself. So you can see here we have a stroke, again thickness, color, and like the position outside, inside, center. And here you also may see these two things, which is start point and end point. So you may change something on the start point. For instance, you may do it round. And if you can see it here, it becomes rounded. And if it's square, then it's square. On this one, you may do it round, and on this one, you may do it square. You also may change the position by clicking this icon. And you also may change the ending of a line by, like for instance, here we can have a line like that. and here we may have the ending for the line like that. Now the same works for the arrow, but it's already by default it has some thickness, and by default it has the ending of this line arrow, but you also can change it anyway. And basically arrow is just one case of a line. Now ellipse is very similar to rectangle. You can change the color, you can add a stroke, you can change the color of the stroke, you can change the position of the stroke. Let's do it even thicker, like that. And everything is the same. You also have width, you also have height, and you basically may make it not a circle if you disable this one and then change the height. You'll actually have an ellipse. Now, if you can see, there is no corners here because the ellipse does not have corners. So this is something that you don't need to configure. And in rectangle, there is a configuration for that. Basically, you may transform the rectangle into the circle very easily. You just select rectangle and then, I don't know, provide very, very big corner radius. And now you have rectangle which looks like as an ellipse. The only thing is, like, when it could be useful is if you want to change the proportion of this object. So for instance, I want to create, I can hold and drag it like that, and then I'll receive a rectangle with a rounded corners. It's usually used for buttons in the digital product design. Now let's talk about the polygon. Now we have a rectangle, but it has an extra thing, which is this button, where you actually can control the amount of corners in your polygon. So basically, by default there are 3 of them, but you can increase, and then you can create a very interesting shape. And you also may do a corner radius for this shape. For instance, let's check this one. You have 7 corners, and then we may add like corner radius 10, and you can see that all the corners now are rounded. If you can see here, we do not have a possibility to specify a particular corner, but if you want to apply corner radius for a particular corner, you just double click on the object, select the point that you want to apply corner radius to. I want to select this 3, I do it with a shift, and then I can apply corner radius like 20. And now you can see that here I have corner radius and here I do not, because I didn't apply this to this one. Now the star is very similar. It also has corner radius, it also has number of corners, number of endings of the star that you can increase or decrease, which is also very useful, because then you can create a complex star objects together. And then these shapes could be used with the help of the union that I already described in another video. You can check it out, and you can, for instance, take a couple of these shapes. Let's do it like that. Then you may do, let's do it like that, increase the proportion here, do a star like that, this very weird shape, and then we do a union. Now we have this very weird shape, but basically you may use this, for instance, for some illustrations or other interesting things when you need to apply a mask. I talk about that in another video, but this is a very useful feature. That's all for shapes for now, and see you in the next videos.